Okay, today is Tuesday, February 28th, and today was a short day for me. I had two trades, and I think they both took place before noon today, so I was done pretty quickly, and I was able to enjoy the rest of my afternoon. One trade worked out perfect. I had a perfect setup, perfect entry, um, less than stellar exit. But the first trade I took today was a little less planned and more purely just based on instinct. So we'll go over those right now. All right. I finished the day at like just under $64. Um, two trades and two drains. I am still trading MES, the micro E minis, and they've been treating me well. I've been enjoying futures, a lot more simple than options, and I don't have to stress so much about, well, quite frankly, a lot of the Greeks and a lot of the options things that I don't understand as much as I would like. Futures allows me to grasp the scheme of things, which is like, hey, is your technical analysis on point? Can you recognize patterns in the market? And then can you get in when the market makes a move that's according to your plan? So it's been going good. I've been trading less and doing higher quality setups. So just trying to keep things interesting. But we will start with the first trade of the day and the biggest trade of the day. It was pretty much right off of the open. I got in. Let me zoom out here. I got in. What candle is this? This is 9:38, so 8 minutes after the open. In the pre-market, I was keeping an eye on this huge sell-off we had coming in to the pre-market, and there was a lot of selling pressure. I did have the overnight lows right at this level or just below this level. So I'll go ahead and pull that up on Thinkorswim. I'm charting on Thinkorswim. So I had the overnight lows here on, let me fix this real quick. So I had the overnight lows at 3972, and let me move this so my face is not in the way. The overnight low right here at 3972, didn't touch it, but we were getting pretty close. So I took that as like approaching my zone, and that in this candlestick, as you can see here, this huge wick, that it was pretty indicative that things were going to start turning around for me. So I got in long shortly after this red candle kind of fizzed out, and then we started to get some buying pressure shortly afterwards. This worked out pretty well. I caught right before the big momentum swing here on this candle, and things worked out. I mean, I think the exit, unfortunately, I didn't have a plan here. This was more of like, I saw this happen. I saw the selling pressure right in the morning. This rejection was pretty hardcore. Selling or buying pressure started to come in pretty quickly, so I hopped in just because everything was kind of lining up the way you want to see it happen. And then I made sure to get out when things started to take a turn for the worst. I could have gotten out here, at the high of this candle. I was giving it some space to keep working. And then after this first candle here, I was pretty sure, things were not looking good. A lot of selling pressure coming back in. So I just got out as I left a little bit of money on the table, but again, $38, and I was out within 18 minutes of the market opening. So that's a win in my book. Next trade, the last trade of the day, a little smaller. This one was well planned and well executed, with the exception of my exit. As you can see here, I was short off of this candle right here, and I got out here. So obviously there was a little bit of meat on the bone left for me. And I will show you what it looks like once we get off TradeZilla, because it's a little bit more clear. But again, could have made a little bit more money here, but hindsight's 2020. So we're gonna do Thinkorswim. Okay, so the move that I got in, I'm gonna zoom in, was right around here. So I'm just going to highlight this whole section. So I had this zone here, and this zone, I'll go ahead and explain this zone. I've been trying out these fair market value gaps, kind of these zones, and kind of seeing how places respond off of this. So I had these 3 zones. What I was looking for was this kind of gap between where we had a little bit of resistance and then we had a huge buying pressure and kind of a jump to a next section. What the market tends to do is they tend to come back down and kind of retest these zones because there wasn't really any space in that zone that was tested for price wise. It kind of just blasted right through it. So I put that zone. I had one here, but this one was a killer zone today. What worked out was pre-market. All of that initial selling happened off of this zone that I was talking about. Huge sell-off. So I knew from this sell-off, from this key level that I had at 3,995, and this zone, that this was a a lot of selling pressure. So for me, that's an indicative that, hey, there's, sellers don't like this level, or, it's at least for the foreseeable future, it's going to be important. So nothing really happened with that zone. We kind of tested here. I didn't want to play that. Again, big sell-off. So yeah, sure, you could have said that maybe they in theory tested that zone. Big sell-off. I waited for this right here. I waited for a little bit more confirmation. I really wanted it to actually get in the zone, and it was absolutely in the zone. And my entry, let's go back to TradeZella and get the actual entry here. So this is I got in on that second candle. So after the first candle closed. So I got in on this candle right here. So I was actually monitoring this position between the 1 minute and the 5 minute. I made the entry based off of the 1 minute because I wanted to see when exactly it hit, what kind of wick it was forming at the 1 minute. So my entry happened at the 1 minute. I wanted it to be a little bit more precise just to make sure that the move was happening. And I was monitoring it for the most part on the 5 minute. So we can go to the 5 minute scale to check this out. Unfortunately, I switched back to the 1 minute, and that kind of hurt my exit. If I had just followed the 5 minute chart for the exit, I would have had a much better exit because I did leave some meat on the bone here. As you can see from the 5 minute, basically from that rejection on that zone, it sold off for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, the next 30 minutes. And I got out really just under this zone right here at this level of 3987, which was my original target. So, and it kind of sucks because this was just red all the way down. So had I been monitoring the trade on the 5 minute level, it would have been a little bit different story. I probably could have held to at least this candle here. Hindsight's 2020, so I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But exit. So we're going to go the specific exit. I exited on this candle right here, which is silly because what I was thinking was like I was giving it a little bit of room. I let this happen. I let this doji candle happen. When this green candle, this is the first green candle that had closed in a couple of minutes. So I was like, okay, this very well could be a turnaround. And I actually saw the buying pressure coming in here. Obviously, this wick finished a little higher. But I got out really as it started pressing up, and I got out right at this the top of this wick here. Had I just been patient and monitored the 5 minute chart, this would have been a completely different story. And I could have at least managed a little bit more money down into this next zone here. So it is what it is. It's a green day. Today's February 28th, the last day of the month. And I ended on a green day. 2 for 2 on futures. So there's not much you can say about that. Otherwise, pretty happy with how today went. And excited to move into March and to see how things progress. Otherwise, that is everything I have, and I appreciate if anybody's watching this. Thanks for hanging out.